Right, we want to go and look at the next story. The Parliament has unanimously passed the Affirmative Action Bill. And the story on ChannelOneNews.com says here, this story written by Abigail Arthur, says Parliament has passed the Affirmative Action Bill into law. Now, the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Bill 2024 has been deliberated on in Parliament for several years, was finally passed unanimously by the House on Tuesday, July 30th. Now, the bill aims to ensure that a significant number of women hold key positions in governance, public life, and decision-making spaces, thereby enhancing the lives of women in the country. Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, noted that while this is a significant step, more efforts are needed to achieve true gender equity. The law also seeks to address sociocultural, political, economic, and educational gender imbalances in both private and public sectors, as outlined in Clause 4 of Article 17 of the 1992 Constitution. Now, speaking on the passage in Parliament on Tuesday, the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, noted that the honourable members with their eyes have it. The Affirmative Action Gender Equality Bill 2024, now the Affirmative Action Gender Equity Act, duly read the third time and passed. Okay, so it's been passed, and the beginning of the story said it was finally passed unanimously by the House. Let me start with Tabitha on this one. Good news for women across the country.
Yes, it's a great news. Honestly, I'm here to celebrate. When I heard it yesterday, I was so busy that I couldn't celebrate. If you are a woman and you really appreciate the challenges that women face in their daily lives, you'll be happy that the government of Ghana, the Parliament of Ghana has succeeded in passing this bill. Honestly, I'm singularly very, very happy about it. I wanted to have a full appreciation of the bill. I wanted to read it, but then I didn't get the content, so I couldn't read the full, what do you call it, bill. But I know it is going to be to the benefit of women and also to men. You know, some benefits wouldn't be direct, but definitely will be indirect, because studies have shown that the more women are educated, the more their children are better taken care of, the more society is made better. I will talk for my mom, though my mom didn't go to school beyond middle school, but because of the exposure she had to that level of education, she ensured that we took our studies very serious, and today we are all seeing or reaping the benefit of this, of going to school. I remember growing up in Bolga, the first time I heard that per our culture and our tradition, women are not allowed to inherit properties from their, especially their fathers. I was sad because I was wondering, then how do you become an independent woman when you grow? How will you be able to take care of yourself in case you don't have a man in your life that will take care of you? Because those days, they used to train us only for marriages, but not to be women that can stand on our own feet and take care of ourselves. To the extent that if you are a woman and maybe you find yourself in an abusive environment, you find it very difficult to move, because you ask yourself, where are you going to? How will you fend for yourself? Because if you are not allowed to own a piece of land, how then do you feed? And so this, I know, is going to help a lot of women going forward. Another thing I would like to say is that growing up as a young lady who decided to venture into STEM, I also saw the biases. I also saw the the challenges in that field. And I chanced on the story of a woman who wanted to become a medical doctor. But you know, those days, they wouldn't allow you study some courses as a woman. The reason was simple, because you are a woman, you can't take some courses, for example, in medicine. So there was a woman who decided to disguise herself as a man just to learn and become a medical doctor. Now, because of that decision she took, she couldn't marry, neither could she have children, because it would have exposed her.
Yeah.
And by then, they would have killed her for just venturing into a study area that is a preserve of only men. And it happened that after her death, people, when they were preparing her body for burial, that was when they realized that she was a woman. So this tells you that women have come a long way, and we have suffered in the hands of some cultures that we ourselves decided to formulate, and that didn't go well for us. I always say, look, if you are a man and you think that the women given such, they call it privileges. No matter, I don't really care how they decide to describe it, but I think it is a right. It is not a privilege.
It's not a privilege.
It is a right, because we are all born equal. And if you look at science, you realize that the number of chromosomes coming from the man is the same number of chromosomes that come from the woman. Yeah. And this comes together to form a human being. And you know, we cannot choose our gender. It is natural. And we can't all be men. We need women that will come and give birth to more people. And so you just don't say, because you are a woman, you are restricted to these things. Yes, naturally, if you look at our biological makeup, there are some things that we alone can do, and there are some things that men alone can do. And I always tell people, look, if you look at the physical makeup of a man, you realize that the muscles of the man normally are around the biceps, the triceps, like, you understand, giving them the ability to do more of physical activities. But if you look at the woman, we have most of our muscles deposited at our reproductive side, the womb and the other reproductive organs. And it is all to ensure that the next generation is what? We birth the next generation. Okay. And so you cannot limit us in some cortices. For instance, if you look at our ability to think, you realize that women and men, we do not actually think like, our ability to understand things is not that different. No. It's the same thing. Okay. And even it is even
Please
said,
wrap it up for me.
It is even said that the intelligence of a child is inherited
from the mother.
Yes. And so why should you limit us? Why should you say that we can do some things? And I'm singularly happy that this government has taken some initiatives. For instance, they've built STEM schools that are only for girls. Okay. One being the Bosomtwe Girls Senior High School, which is a STEM school where they teach them robotics, they teach them a lot of STEM courses. And this is a laudable thing. This is a government that thinks about the advancement of women. Yeah. And to even have it being passed under Akufo-Addo's watch is one that gladdens my heart. Okay, and I want to use this opportunity to congratulate all women in this country, congratulate all those that ensured that this bill got passed.
All right, thank you. Najee.
David, and so yesterday, the passage of the Affirmative Action Bill to an Act gladdened my heart. At least that came to maybe compensate me for the shock at the comments of the Attorney General after the ruling given.
Please leave him alone. Let's talk about this one.
I won't leave him alone. You see, the rule of law has an implication on our right to live. The basic right, fundamental.
Let's talk about this gender equity.
I think you should allow me use my time.
Go ahead.
Good. And so I would agree that history has been made so that we are able to actually address, socio-cultural and economic barriers that, get in the way of the progress of women. And to say that I agree with the Speaker of Parliament when he says that It is not a bill for women. It is a bill for development. But then you see, I also think that the work is far from over when it comes to just the passage doesn't, well, it means a lot. But then let us get to work. Let us commit resources to making sure that indeed the Affirmative Action Bill is operationalized. And so I want to thank all women, all men, all organizations, including the organization that I work for, the Planned Parenthood Association of Ghana, for our commitment to this cause. It's worth celebrating when your efforts yield results. But let me also be quick to add that when it comes to the Affirmative Action Bill, Ghanaians, it is only the John and Jane ticket that has actually actualized it. It is the only party in this year's election that has actually recognized, I'm telling you, that has actually recognized gender inclusion. It is the only party. And so if we are looking for a political party with the vision of women inclusion, with the vision to actually implement the Affirmative Action and Gender Equity Act, it is the NDC. And I'll give you another point to substantiate that. Now, have you also heard that as part of the vision of our flag bearer, we are setting up the Women's Development Bank? This is a party that believes in the progress of women. For 1 million women to benefit from this. If this is not affirmative action, I don't know what this is. Now, even more of the reality of the affirmative action is the fact that we are the only political party, as at yet, right, who has actually in this year's election has a female running mate, and that is the distinguished Professor Jane Nanu Opoku-Agyeman. Which other party would Ghanaians go for? If we are applauding affirmative action, if you want to see it implemented, if you want to see a party that will put it into action, the NDC, even not in power, is actually putting it into action. And so it tells you that come December 7th, when the good people of Ghana endorse the John and Jane ticket, more progress for women, it will be more money for women, it will be more, more policies that actually is geared towards the progress of women and nothing but women. But like I said, it is not just about women, it is for development. Now, you agree also with me that when it comes to Ghana's population, there are more women than men. True. Of course, at the last count, we have over 51% as women. And so if this majority are left behind, if this majority have, impediments in their way to progress in the corporate space, in leadership, in politics, in domestic life, where would the development come? Where would the progress come? And so this for us is a big win for Ghana, and not only for women, but also a very big win, right? And even goes to applaud the NDC, and I repeat, the only political party that has actually actionized the affirmative action.